Today I want to start with a story. There was a man who had a hot air balloon, and he had the helium going, and he was pumping the gas into the balloon. The balloon was full and vibrant and beautiful, but he was still on the ground. And he couldn't figure out, how do I soar above the trees? How do I get up there where the birds fly free? And he sat there and he thought, and days and weeks went by as he continued to pump the gas into the balloon, but just couldn't leave the ground. And he tried and he racked his brain. And then he looked around the basket in which he was standing, and he saw all of his problems, his beliefs, his thoughts, his words in bags around the outside of the basket. And he sat there and he pondered, I wonder, if I make the basket lighter, will I be able to rise? So he looked over the basket and he saw this bag, and it says, my stinking beliefs. And he goes, let's pull this out. Let's look at this. So he pulled the bag into the basket and he started to go through what was called his stinking beliefs. And he pulled pieces of paper, thousands and thousands of pieces of paper out of this bag, each of them reading a belief about something, anything, everything. His beliefs about money, his beliefs about his relationship, his parents, his siblings, his children, his schooling, his friends, his work, everything. And he's like, I don't want to believe in these anymore. And then he looked off to his left and he saw a big fire that was raging with this beautiful white light. And it was just these flames that were just like so vibrant. He's like, I was so attracted to them. I wonder, what if I put these pieces of paper of these beliefs that I no longer want into that flame? And as he got closer, he was a little hesitant because he thought the flames were going to burn him. He thought, wait a minute, if I throw these beliefs away, then what can I believe? What will I believe if I don't have this belief? If I don't believe this thing about money or my family or my health, what will I believe? So he sat down on a stump next to these roaring flames. And as he pondered, he thought, I want to create new beliefs. Wouldn't that be nice to think something new about my health or my children or my family or my money? And so he sat down on this log and he pondered for days, thinking and creating a whole new belief system. So he took all these pieces of paper and he saw it. He would open it and he would say, money is hard to make. And then he'd flip the piece of paper over and say, okay, if I don't want to believe that, then what do I want to believe? I want to believe that money is easy to come by. So he took a pencil and he wrote that on the other side. I want to believe that money is easy to come by. And then he took out another belief and he says that it's my parents' fault that I am the way that I am. And he took that belief and he flipped it over at this blank piece on the back, the blank paper on the back. And he said, I don't want to believe that. What do I want to believe? And he looked at it and he goes, I want to believe that they taught me the foundation of being a good person. I want to believe that. And so he wrote that on the back of the paper. And as he did this, he didn't realize that as he was writing the new belief, that he was putting them into the flame. And the flames were doing two things. They were burning away the old belief. They were erasing on that side of the paper. And they were embedding in this new magical ink on the new side, what he just wrote. So instead of burning up the paper, it cleared one side and it solidified the other. And then it just stayed there. It floated inside these white, beautiful flames. And he just sat there and he goes, this is really cool. I'm going to keep going. Okay, what's my beliefs about my health? What's my beliefs about my career? What are my beliefs about how smart I am? What are my beliefs about the world in general, or how I live the world, or how happy I am, or what I need to succeed? And he continued to go through this bag all the way to the bottom. And then he pulls out the last one and he looks at it. And it says, I can't create what I want. And he's like, whoa, like this one's pretty powerful. What should I do? I can't create what I want. He flips it over. And instead of him writing something on there, it revealed something instead. As he finally stood up and he's like, this is pretty sweet. Like, I don't even know what to do with this information. Like, what is going on? And he opened this piece of paper, and as he flipped it over, the words, as he got closer to the flames, began to appear. And he read it, and he goes, I am a powerful creator. And just in that moment, all of the papers turned to this magical dust. It was this beautiful, brilliant blue color, and it just swirled and hovered above the flames. And he went back and he got another bag off of the basket. And he came over and he did the same thing with his thoughts. Then he went over and he got another bag and he did the same thing with his emotional state. And he did the same thing, and it took him some time, but he was so light afterwards, shedding all of these thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that no longer served him. Then he realized something. He looked over at the basket and the hot air balloon, and he realized it was hovering about 2 feet off the ground. And he's like, no kidding. That's what I have to do. I have to shed the thoughts and the beliefs and the emotions that no longer serve me. As I stand here in front of this fire, I feel lighter. And he looks at the basket with a hot air balloon full of gas ready to go. The basket feels lighter. So he leaves the bags by the fire and he runs over to the basket and he climbs in. And as he's standing inside the basket, he's like, everything feels lighter. And in that moment, he pulls the handle and he fills the balloon with gas, and it starts to rise effortlessly. He's now soaring above the trees, and as he's soaring above the trees, he can see a whole new perspective that he could not see when he was down on the ground with these thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states that were holding him there. He couldn't see opportunities. He couldn't see new choices, and he could not see the beautiful perspective shift that he's having right now as he's soaring above the trees. He's like, those thoughts and beliefs and emotions that were keeping me down, they were keeping me in the shade. They were keeping me in the dark. They were keeping me down. Now I feel lighter and my balloon can soar. Let's talk about the message here. Not kidding. This was a story I literally pushed to record and told the story. No papers in front of me. No script in front of me, nothing, just a story. Now, let's think about what happened. Let's think about what that means, because that is my story about how life works. We attract into our lives as we try to make meaning of things when we're little. We try to make meaning of the world around us. And we're like 4 or 7 or 9. And making meaning of things around us isn't always accurate. Our parents might scold us for something that we did, and immediately we think we're not smart enough. Our teachers say something to us that maybe is a joke, but we don't pick up on it, and now we think we're not good enough. Our friends don't invite us to a birthday party, and we think nobody likes us. We don't get the job that we wanted in the summer, and we think we're never going to be successful. And we pick up these extremes, but then the problem is we hold those extremes throughout our whole life until you're ready to let go of them, until you're ready to throw them into the fire and release the belief that doesn't work for you anymore. Now, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of inner work, which is the journey. The journey is inward. It's like an inside-out journey. Go inside to change the outside. And it is in this journey where we become stronger, more successful, we become healthier, we can deepen our connections with others. But if we don't go in, we don't change the out. And sometimes when we do forcibly change the outside, it changes maybe for a little while. You ever notice that you have a job that you hate and your boss is an idiot and your coworkers suck? But then all you do is you quit that job and you go on to another one, sure enough to be creating the exact same scenario. Or if you leave a relationship because he or she is terrible and you don't like them and you don't get along and you fight all the time and you leave that relationship just to find you got into the very similar relationship you just left. That is because we're taking ourselves with us. We go wherever we go, right? We take our beliefs, our thoughts, our emotions with us. And until we can go in and clear anything that's in there that doesn't serve us, we stay with it. We continue the same journey. We continue to be faced with the same lesson until the lesson is learned. Life is much like school. You don't leave second grade unless you're ready to leave second grade, right? Until you've learned all the lessons that you should learn when you're in second grade so you can be successful in third grade. Well, that's how life is. So I want to give you another analogy that I was faced with this past week when Amy and I were talking about our health. And however we were having the conversation, I was standing there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like the whole picture, I'm still learning too, right? I can create the analogies all day long and I can create the stories just like I told you in the beginning of today's episode, but I'm still learning too. Like the image is getting clearer and clearer for me. Like I get parts and pieces and then all of a sudden the whole thing comes together. So we were talking about like what we're going to do. We want to start working out. We have some pain in our body we're trying to deal with. We're trying to heal it. We're moving on. We're making some choices and things are feeling better and things are getting better. So we're having this conversation and I said, you know what? It just dawned on me. And I've told this many times, but it just, like I said, it's getting clearer. But I said, it just dawned on me. Our job is to raise our own vibration so we can see the higher perspective, so we can see the choices and opportunities that are right in front of us. So much like the hot air balloon, we can't rise above to see the perspective and to see the new opportunities until we start shedding the crap, right? We have to get rid of those beliefs that don't work. So I want to give you another tool. I love using this one. It's very, very simple. I use it with everybody who will listen. But I will tell you, because of its simplicity, don't underestimate its power, because it is an amazing tool to use to help you get a grip on where you are in life. So it's a vibrational scale. So picture an upright scale from 0 is at the bottom and 10 is at the top. And they're stacked numbers. And in any given moment, in any given topic, is to rate yourself. How are you feeling about this particular topic? So let's take health for a second. So we take health and I say, okay, I'm feeling like a 5. My body feels like this, or it looks like this, or whatever. And I go, okay, I'm a 5. Right in this moment is not a good idea to look for a diet plan. It's not a good idea to go sign up for a gym membership. It's not a good idea to try to solve the problem, because what happens is as I am a 5, that energy that I'm putting out into the world is putting out the feelers of other 5 type frequencies. Okay, so if I'm a 5 and I go out to the gym, all I'm going to do is transfer that same frequency out into the world. I'm going to find a 5 type trainer. I'm going to find a 5 type gym. I'm going to find a 5 type diet. And what happens is that diet, that trainer, that gym is not going to work. So what I need to do, because if I'm a 5, my goal is I want to be a 10. I want to feel amazing. I want to look amazing. I want to be able to move my body with ease, right? So what I need to do is I want to go find 10 type opportunities and solutions to this problem instead of 5s. You with me so far? Okay. So what I need to do is I need to raise my own vibration, because that's the frequency I want to send out. You can't just hopefully go out and go, okay, I want to be a 10 in this area, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to look for 10. Here's the thing. You're not going to find it. Same as the guy who's in the hot air balloon. And I go, you just got to soar above the trees. He's like, I just can't get there. You have to be able to raise yourself up so you can be able to see above the trees. So he had to do that inner work. So your inner work might be to visualize. It might be, if I visualize myself ideally at a 10, what does that look like? What does it feel like? How do I talk from that space? How do I behave? What do I have? Who did I become? So all of these need to get thought of first. What does an ideal healthy person look like? What do they feel like? What are their thoughts? What's their vocabulary? Okay? While I'm in that space and I'm visualizing and I'm pretending and I'm thinking and I'm contemplating, what's happening is your vibration is going up. So when in my mind and in my emotional state, remember, the emotion is what goes out and attracts. That's what pulls the thing into you. So if I use my mind and I say, I'm going to put all these things together, I'm going to send this frequency out of it as a 10, my heart has to be in it because that's going to pull the thing towards me. Then I'm going to find the trainer. I'm going to find the gym. I'm going to find the diet plan or the food. I don't say a diet like those temporary diets. When I say a diet, because I'm an old personal trainer, what I mean is your food, the food that you eat, your plan. Okay. I don't mean one of the fad diets, the many fad diets that are out there. So does that make sense? So here's my thought. Here's my little exercise for you. And that would be to take that area of your life, rate it, and then say, okay, if let's say I'm a 5 in health, then I go, what would it take for me to be a 6? What would have to happen? I'd lose 5 pounds. Okay, so now feel into 5 pounds. Gone. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And then now feel into that. And then go, okay, now what would it take me to be a 7? Who do I have to become? What words does that person use? Oh, that person's 10 pounds lighter. What does that person, how do they talk? What do they eat? How often do they eat? How much do they eat? What kind of exercise do they do? How much fun do they have in their life? Okay. Do you ever notice that let me do this. Always make sure that no matter what your number is that you're going up one at a time. Just like you're climbing stairs, you're going one step at a time. You're going from a 5 to a 6 to a 7. Because if you try to make the jump from a 5 to a 10, you're going to be it's called repelled. It's energetically repelled. It's an opposite attraction. So you have to go one at a time. So when you are a 5, and let's say you go to work and you're a 5, and you're around somebody who's a 10, aren't they annoying? Why are you so happy? Stop saying good morning. It's not a good morning. I didn't get my parking spot. Today sucks. It's raining. I got a flat tire. I hate my life, right? So go one at a time. No matter what your number is, no matter what the topic is, go one step at a time. Please remember to do that. Now, then once you are building that up, feel into, because the whole goal is through this exercise is that you are feeling as if it's complete. You're feeling as if you've lost the weight. You feel amazing. The pain is gone. And then from that place, go and find the solution. Now talk about a plan. Don't talk about a plan. Don't try to solve the problem when you're feeling terrible. Don't try to solve the problem from the level in which you are, because you will just attract another solution that keeps you at that same level. Make sense? Okay. I know today's episode was a little bit different. I hope that it serves you. Please do the inner work. Let me know how it goes. Thank you for listening. If you liked that episode, please subscribe, like, or write a review. Let me know how that landed with you. If you'd like to support this podcast, please check out in the show notes where you can buy me a chai tea, or you can join my newest podcast membership for exclusive episodes, guided meditations, and transformative exercises that you won't find anywhere else. Bring your journal, open your heart, and let's get ready for some serious transformation.